Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going over all the FNAF 2 movie news that's occurred over the past month. The Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie news is getting bigger and better, and filming hasn't even started yet. So let's just get right into it. The 10th year anniversary of FNAF was a huge success, with an entire week dedicated to new FNAF releases leading up to the latest game installment of Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. The official Scott Games Twitter account released behind the scenes pre-production photos of the FNAF movie. Jim Henson's Creature Shop makes a return, and let me just say, we are getting one-to-one accurate character models from FNAF 2 being featured in the movie. We get to look at pretty much all the animatronic models. Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, Toy Bonnie, Mangle, and even all the Wither animatronics coming to life. Yes, the Withers are making their debut exactly how they looked in the games, rather than just being the first FNAF movie animatronics withered. Into the Pit ended up being released a day earlier, so Scott and the team decided to release 4 scripts from the FNAF movie. In typical Scott trolling fashion, only one script is true. As of right now, these are the current actors confirmed to be returning to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Josh Hutcherson makes his return as Mike, Piper Rubio as Abby, Elizabeth Lale as Vanessa, and of course, Ghostface Shaggy Rogers himself, Matthew Lillard as William Afton. I truly believe we're going to dive deeper into William Afton's past, and Springtrap will not appear until the 3rd and final movie, or at least a potential end credit. Matthew Lillard is someone everyone wants to see perform more on screen, and to see him as William Afton rather than Springtrap would lead into the suspense for FNAF 3. Speaking of Matthew Lillard, here's a clip of him explaining the story of how he got the role of William Afton at a previous con. All credit of the footage will be linked below.
My question is, how familiar were you with Five Nights at Freddy's before you joined the cast? That's gotta be a weird pitch.
Yeah, it was nothing, I had no idea. I read the script, and in the script, in that last sequence, I had like 3 lines. And I was like, they were like, oh, this very rarely happens in my life. I got an offer, they said, if you go sit with the director, Emma Tammy, and you guys get along, the offer is yours, the part is yours. I'm like, oh, it usually means the movie's really small and shitty. And so I read the script, and it has it says Yellow Rabbit, and it's an Afton and Yellow Rabbit, and there's like, between the 2 parts, there's like 4 lines in the end. And I went to take the meeting, and I'm like, no offense, there's only 4 lines, and and he dies at the end, like, I don't really get this. Why do you want me? And she said, well, first of all, we can find improv lines, and we'll see what happens on the day. But he is like Voldemort in Harry Potter, and we're gonna make a bunch of movies. And I was like, okay, I'm in. But the funny thing is that I came home and I said to my wife, I was like, this weirdest meeting, I just had a crazy meeting, and they want me to, this movie called Five Nights at Freddy's, and my middle kid, who's non-binary, was in the other room, and Ace comes in and goes, what did you just say? And I'm like, well, I've got this script of Five Nights at Freddy's. They were like, you got it, you have to do it, Dad. And I'm like, the guy has like 3 lines, and they were like, what's the name of the part? I'm like, Yellow Rabbit. And they're like, oh. And they kind of walked away, and then we're kind of listening, and I'm like, yeah, so the guy's name is William Afton, and then they call him Yellow Rabbit, and then Ace comes screaming back in. My son comes screaming in, and they're both like, you have to do that job. One other funny story about that is that I was talking to Scott, who's the creator of the show, and he was like, yeah, your name came up, and this is a true story, and there's 28 seconds left, and I'll do your question really fast, but you guys are not gonna make it. Unless we stay for another 6 hours. But this question, so Scott says to me, it's very funny, will you sign this for my nanny? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you kind of owe her the signature. And I was like, okay, why? And she said, well, he lives in Texas. He said, your name was on a list, and we were talking at the kitchen table about all these names, and we're talking, and your name was said out loud. And my nanny goes, oh, he was at Texas Frightmare, and he stayed 4 hours afterwards to sign autographs for fans. And Scott was like, that's my guy. And so, because of you, because of people like this crowd, I got the opportunity to play the part of a lifetime. So thank you.
Casting for Jeremy Fitzgerald has also been reported to have a role as the security guard directly from the game. I personally really want the security guard to be Markiplier, as he was supposed to be the first security guard in the first movie. Markiplier would be very fitting to be the bite victim, and has to happen solely because...
Was that the bite of 87?
There's also a rumor of another major male role, which is leading the community to believe Henry Emily, William Afton's business partner, will appear in the movie for possible flashbacks. On the Louisiana Entertainment website, I'll have it linked below, the second FNAF movie is under the pre-production working title of Music Box. This is following the same pattern from the previous installment, Bad Cupcake. Music Box clearly represents the puppet, which will be featured in this film as teased at the ending credits of the first movie. If we go ahead and look closely at the website, filming officially will begin October 28th and film through January 31st of 2025. Scott actually confirms filming for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will begin at the end of October, announced on FNAF's charity stream. Not only did Scott state directly more photos will be shared, but also donated $10,000 to the cause. John hosted an amazing 10-hour stream, and his reaction was priceless. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will also reportedly be rated PG-13 per Daniel RPK. I know a lot of people are still upset the movie isn't rated R, but I truly believe this is a great sign. More people can watch the movie in theaters, and with how successful the first movie was, of course Universal and Blumhouse would make this the case. Especially if they're focusing on more horror. Gore wouldn't really be ideal. The entire fanbase had concerns with the horror aspect of the first movie, and from that feedback, Blumhouse and Scott are promising to deliver a larger focus on horror this time around. Dawko and FNAF will be hosting an interview with the voice cast of Security Breach, the regular Sauce, creator of all the animatronics seen at PAX West this year and last year, and the one and only Matthew Lillard. Occurring on October 26th, there will be signed prints, which you can actually order now, which I will go ahead and link in the description. Universal Pictures released an 8-minute video titled Springtrap Transformation, most likely celebrating October 1st. The video has a description reading, "The animatronics suddenly revolt against William Afton, Matthew Lillard, trapping him inside a malfunctioning Spring Bonnie suit. As the suit's internal mechanisms crush him, Afton is transformed into the terrifying figure known as Springtrap, a twisted fusion of man and machine." The Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie films in less than 1 month. I'll be creating many more videos and shorts relating to FNAF and other horror games. Subscribe for more FNAF related content. That's all from me. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!